Summer in Mara is a single-player adventure game that was funded on Kickstarter early last year. In it, you play as Koa, a young girl who was raised on her home island by her Yaya. Sadly, after Yaya's passing, she's been stranded on the island. Not long into the game, a girl named Napopo, who can only communicate to Koa through drawings, shows up on the island having fled her destroyed home. With her help, they fix the old boat and explore the world of Mara. Summer in Mara is both farming sim and an exploration game. At home, you can grow crops in your few fields, plant trees or accidentally light them on fire, pick up shells and catch fish. With what you've grown and gathered, you can create meals with recipes or craft and build items like wells or thread. Heading out, you'll first come across the island of Qualis, where the shops and majority of characters and quests are. As there's no combat, the main gameplay consists of fulfilling various tasks. Koa has a main storyline to follow, but most every named character has a questline to progress as well, and sometimes item upgrades will unlock through them. These quests usually ask for Koa to give them a particular amount of produce, a new dish, or to craft something for them. As such, you'll be sailing back and forth quite a lot. You might have to deliver items between NPCs, and because of this I especially wish Qualis was smaller. For some reason, Koa can only craft back home, and he can't even check your recipes outside of there. So if you're missing materials you can only get from a store, you'll waste even more time trading back. Other times you'll need to head to a specific island to dig up treasure, catch a few particular fish, or go diving in the ocean to get a lost object. If you can't progress side quests, often you'll need to wait and progress elsewhere until you can get the item you need. When the main plot progresses, your boat will be upgraded and you can explore more of the world. There are over 20 islands and a few other key locations. Sadly, few of them have inhabitants and many are quite empty even if they look cool. Like the island with a giant bird's nest where I've yet to see the parents. At best they'll have a new fruit or fish, or a lot of cute little piggies. Scattered throughout are mail crabs which have messages from real life people, presumably a Kickstarter reward. Reading them gives you an item. A couple of times I've gotten a quest item early because of one. In the waters you may find pirates, who also function as shopkeepers, more mail crabs, diving and fishing spots. Once you've built different animal pens you can rescue them from the ocean, returning them to your home island. Every animal eats one specific food, such as carrots for pigs, but feeding them enough will give you produce like truffles. Though you might fret about farm care, nothing gets sick or dies. Animals only need to be fed to be productive. Crops too can grow without water, it's just slower. I wish I knew that earlier, as for some reason they decided that the wells only hold so much water until it rains again. Rain itself was quite fickle, so that even with 10 wells I still ran out, as it took over 30 in-game days before it rained again. This was more of an early game issue, but it's incredibly weird since limited water isn't a mechanic I've seen in other farming games. My chickens would occasionally get in the way of my watering or using fertilizer too. Often you'll have to figure out things for yourself. Though not being bombarded with pop-ups is nice, finding out I couldn't dive without goggles until after I'd gone all the way to a particular spot is annoying. The only pressures you have in this game are Koa's energy and hunger bar, as running or doing anything else will drain her energy, and if you run out she'll faint and have less the next day. Being hungry will deplete her energy rapidly too. The days are unnumbered and have little meaning, so there's next to no consequences in this game, though taking time to sleep at home and keeping handfuls of food on you is better. The way things unlock can be a hassle too, as I needed some copper bars to progress, but I had to spend a lot of money to buy them. Annoyingly, immediately after that quest I got the recipe to create them, and already had the raw materials that could have made it. Only 99 of each kind of item can be held, and selling large quantities is very slow. One issue I had that is known and should get fixed is Haku's flowers. At a few points in the story you'll need to deliver a flower that grows on your home island. The second time I needed one, it just wouldn't grow, to the point that I spent close to 100 days waiting for them to return, adding hours onto my playtime. If you encounter this issue, the best thing to do is spam sleeping for 10 days at a time, and then check if it's grown. So of course when it did bloom, I held on to more just in case. But when I needed to deliver the flower again, suddenly it wasn't in my inventory. Another little issue adding to the tedium was when I fainted on a larger island, my boat moved from where it was, so I wasted time trying to find it. The game ran mostly fine, but there was some frame dropping in busy places, most notably my farm once that got more animals. In handheld, the game chugs a bit more often, and when sprinting or sailing, despite holding the Z out button the whole time, it often chugged just enough that I felt like it was stopping for half a second. There are other odd things, like one of the diving points is stuck in ice, but thankfully no quest I've done needed me to go there. I had a few odd glitches, but most of them occurred after beating the game, such as floating animals in places that don't belong. The graphics of the game are okay. The models themselves are pretty good, but characters are lacking a bit of shading or something that makes them blend in with the world less, especially noticeable on the elites. The draw distance could be pretty small when sailing, and I'd get quite close to an island before I could see it, so I'd have to re-navigate to park where I wanted to. Running and jumping animations are a bit stiff, though I did like how high Koa can jump. The character portraits are lovely, with Koa having lots of cute childish expressions. There's beautifully animated cutscenes, but only a couple. Those, along with the loading screen illustrations, show the loving vision of Mara. There's some utterly beautiful music in here, but it's let down by inconsistency. Music doesn't play all the time, and often it'll come in quite loud by default. Currently, you can only change the volume settings in the main menu. I might run into a character and their theme would play for minutes after I'd left the area, so I started playing with my volume down. I honestly didn't start to enjoy the game until nearly 10 hours in, when I started to flow into the just one more task vibe. Then I ran into the flower issue, but afterwards I was able to breeze through the rest of the game. The only thing I really liked about Summer and Mara was the clothes, decorations, and progressing these side characters' storylines. They might be about restaurant rivalries or a pirate scared of his sisters. The main story didn't go anywhere for ages before moving very fast and ending abruptly. While in the end I did want to complete every quest, it seems I'm unable to as I can't collect more animals. Even so, it's not a game I'd want to replay. While it's meant to be a relaxing adventure, I found it more tedious than not. Exploration didn't feel particularly rewarding or interesting, and the small farm with no pressure to take care of it meant I was mostly unengaged. The latter might make it better for children, as they'll only have to worry about money management and collecting berries to save up hunger, but the first few hours are especially a drag. I finished the game in around 20 hours with a few more to get other quests done, so it does at least have a lot of content for the price. Whether you want to play it is another thing. Overall, I feel the game misses the mark on what it's going for, with the repetitive nature of gameplay combined with many smaller issues leaving me feeling unsatisfied. The devs have recently stated plans to fix some issues, such as travelling, lack of instruction, and crafting locations, but I can only review the game as it is now. I give Summer and Mara a 4 out of 10. Feel free to check out other reviews from me on my YouTube channel, which is Paige Detlefsen. Bye!